Hi, I'm Brian Litvak, a licensed insolvency trustee with Litvak Group, and today I want to walk you through a real-life debt relief story. I recently helped a client reduce her debts from about $50,000 down to $15,000, and more importantly, helped her finally see a clear path to becoming debt-free. For privacy reasons, we'll use a fictional name and call her Maria. If you're someone who feels stuck making minimum payments, watch your balances never going down, and wondering, how will I ever get out of this video is for you. Maria found us the same way most people do. She filled out a free consultation request on our website. When we first spoke, she was under a lot of stress. About a year earlier, Maria had gone through a separation. She now only had one income, was caring for her child full-time, and had to take on new expenses just to get back on her feet. Things like finding a new place to live and setting up a household on her own. To manage everything, she leaned on credit. At the time we spoke, she had credit cards, a line of credit, and a personal loan. Altogether, her unsecured debts totaled about $50,000. Here's the part that really resonates with a lot of people. Maria wasn't being chased by creditors. She wasn't missing any payments. She was doing what she thought was the right thing. Every month she paid about $850 towards her minimum payments. But when she looked closely at her statements, she noticed something disturbing. Her balances barely moved. Most of her payments were going to interest. One statement showed it would take 25 years to pay off at that pace. She told me, "I don't see how this ever ends unless I get an inheritance or win the lottery." That's when the stress really sets in. Before talking about solutions, we did what we always do. We looked at everything. We reviewed her debts, her income, her budget, and her assets. Maria worked full-time as a government administrator and took home about $4,300 per month after taxes. She also received about $200 per month in child tax benefits. She had a 2020 Honda CR-V, which was financed, and she needed it for work, so she wanted to keep it. She also had a tax-free savings account with about $2,500 and a work pension. We also went through her monthly expenses to understand what was realistic and sustainable. Only after seeing the full picture did we move on to discussing her options. The first option was to do nothing. She could keep paying $850 per month, stay stressed, and hope something changes. She'd already tried getting a debt consolidation loan, but her credit score was too low to qualify. Even if she got approved, that option wasn't solving the problem, it was just prolonging it. The second option was a consumer proposal. But before we can decide what to offer creditors in a proposal, we must first answer an important question. What would a bankruptcy cost? Because in Canada, creditors want to receive more in a consumer proposal than they would in a bankruptcy. Based on Maria's income and her family size, her bankruptcy payments would have been about $491 per month for 21 months, totaling about $10,311. Then we looked at her assets. Her pension was fully exempt. Her vehicle was exempt too because it was fully financed. Her tax-free savings account of $2,500 would have been available to creditors. So in a bankruptcy, creditors would have received roughly $12,800. To beat that, we structured the proposal offering $15,000 total, with her paying $250 per month over 60 months. That reduced her debt by about 70%. It stopped the interest immediately and gave her one affordable monthly payment. Once we agreed on the plan, we gathered her documents: ID, pay stubs, the TFSA statement, and vehicle paperwork. We prepared the proposal, reviewed everything together in an online meeting, and signed it, and then filed it with the Office of Superintendent of Bankruptcy. The moment it was filed, the interest stopped, the collection call stopped, and any potential wage garnishments were prevented. Even though creditors had 45 days to vote, Maria already felt the relief, because for the first time, there was a real plan. After 45 days, over 80% of her creditors voted in favor, and the proposal was accepted as it was initially filed at $250 per month for this 60-month period. Maria didn't do anything special. She didn't get lucky. She didn't win the lottery. She simply took the first step and asked for help. If you're struggling with debt in Canada, there are legal options to reduce what you owe and regain control of your finances. And just like Maria, it starts with a conversation. If this story sounds familiar, reach out for a free consultation and let's see what your options really are.